All right, we're back.
Heyo.
Graveyard Shift Movie
Movie
Podcast,
podcast.
episode number 57.
Good
This
lord.
week, it was Maverick's pick,
Yes, it was.
and he took us all the way back to 1984 for the Gremlins. Or I think just Gremlins is the title. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
the. But anyway, Gremlins, which we had talked about. People consider it a horror movie, and we were like, I don't really think it's a horror movie. After watching it again, I guess I can kind of see it, but it's not. It's not very horror. But I see why, people would be
There's
like, it's a
there's
horror
10
movie.
minutes of horror.
There's that. There's a couple like we'll get into it more, but there's a couple little jump scare type moments, and it's like, okay, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna rock a 6 on this one. A very disappointing 6, and I'm gonna get into that
Really?
reason. But yeah, it's all right. But there's a reason I'm very disappointed with my score. So Maverick, go ahead with yours.
Um, I'm feeling kind of like a 4. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, this is Tyler's favorite movies. Tyler, go ahead and round this out with a 10.
I've seen this movie like 1,000 times.
Now a
Really?
1001.
Well, no, it was 999.
Oh, and now it's happy
Now it's
1000, dude.
Yeah, no, not very happy. But I'm gonna give this movie an 8, but there's a reason for it. It's an 8 with
Lord.
conditions.
Condition.
But yeah. So yeah, an 8. I don't know. Well, this is just the first movie we've watched. I think that you can watch with kids like completely and not have any problems.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's some fucked scenes in there.
That's just the. I watched it when I was a kid, right?
I watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've been watching it since I was like 5 or 6, and
Yeah.
there's
My
some
dad was
brutal
like,
things in
"Did
there
you
now,
like?"
but-
Yeah, he was like, "Did you like that movie, Thomas?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, here's one called Pulp Fiction. It's along the same lines." And I was like, "What?" Anyway, so spoiler warning for Gremlins, in case you haven't watched it before. We're gonna ruin everything about it, so you've been warned. So the reason I say this is a disappointing 6 is because I think this has to be by far the weakest third act we've ever seen in a movie. Watching the channel or for the channel, because I really like the movie up until after Stripe leaves the house, and then the third act, the last 40 minutes with them in the bars and then the theater and stuff, it was just them. It was just nonsense, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
And like
that's
even
how
the
I get a love
conclusion, like I was like like it was the we. I was looking way higher score when they start off in the house and the mom's going around and stuff. And then once they left, it like really went downhill fast. It kind of stays similar because they attack Homie with the tractor and stuff, and I'm like, okay, they're still going around. But then they just go into party mode, and it's like, let's see how many wacky things we can make the Gremlins do. But
I think
anyway.
that was the comedy part of comedy horror, though.
Yeah,
Doesn't excuse it at all. I'm just saying, like, I understand what they're going for, but
yeah. But it's like the
yeah.
comedy with the dad's messed up gadgets that he had was funnier than what the only one that made me laugh with the Gremlins was the one that was dressed up like a flasher, and he like flashed the bartender. He's like, ah, and she was like, ah. That was the only one that was. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I take it back.
The
That
burglar with the gun didn't get you.
is that when Stripes playing cards with the dude and he fucking pulls out the gat and shoots him.
No, it's the one where the guy's like hanging on the pole and he has a ski mask on and he just randomly has the gun and he's pointing it at him
Oh,
and then he moves and he shoots.
yeah, no, that one didn't. Yeah, but when Stripe pulled out the gat and shot that dude at the poker game, that was pretty funny. But besides those two, it was just I was like, they have like the one doing flash dance, like yeah, it was anyway.
Good stuff.
So
I don't know. Like I said, it's something you can watch with the kiddos.
Some scenes threw me off though, like the microwave scene. I was like, ooh, I did not like that shit at all, man. She throws the gremlin in the microwave,
yeah,
cooks it.
blows
I
that
was
bitch
kind
up.
of oof. I don't think I expected that cut. Like that shit came out of nowhere.
I don't know. Well, she did blend up the first one.
That's true.
I like the whole time that kitchen scene's going on. In the background, you can see the one she stabbed. It's like
Yeah, he's just in the back on the counter, like, oh god.
yeah, yeah. Like if that would have been what the movie was the rest of the time. Well, not even if it would have just kept being them going around and killing random people, it still would have got a way higher score. But I thought that was what it was going to turn into for a while. Was the mom having to like fight in the house or whatever?
Shout out to moms. She
was putting work in, man.
for a female in a horror movie, she
the
was
80s?
getting shit done. Yeah, like a lot of times they just make folks like that like they can't do anything. Like the mom from Halloween. Just running through laundry, right? Like this lady was pretty decent.
Yeah.
So
We got the movie starting off like it's like the meme like, hey, you're probably wondering how I got here. When the dude's doing the fucking
Yeah, I didn't like the intro.
like internal
Kinda
monologue,
shit.
and then he goes into a random Chinese dude's like thrift shop, which they show he's talking to the Chinese dude at one point, and he's like, it smells like dragon's breath, and it's like dong, and it makes the gong. I was like, ooh, okay.
dragon. He goes, bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
He fucking. That's when you get told he's an inventor and all this shit, and he pulls out the worst fucking invention I've ever seen. Where he's like, "This is gonna revolutionize traveling," and it's a fucking brick with like a razor strapped onto it.
It was 40 years ago, right?
Yeah. Still, at
It
one
was
point
hard.
later on in the movie, he has the smokeless ashtray. Which I don't know if that was a thing, but that's totally a thing now. Smokeless ashtrays are like a real thing. So I was like, oh my god, this guy, he did it. But anyway, but in the Chinese shop is where we get introduced to. I think like they end up being called the mud. How do you pronounce it?
Mogwais.
Okay, but isn't that just the one's name? That's not like
No.
the species.
His name is Gizmo.
Well, that's what they call him because they can't pronounce his name.
So yeah, the Mogwais are all of them.
Yeah,
Like, what
that's the
it's called.
species name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Gizmo's its name.
Yeah, but I was very. I will say though, they get the dad gets Gizmo from the shop and takes him home to his son for a Christmas present or whatever. I will say when they pulled him out for the first time, he was sitting there. I was like, damn, this motherfucker cute as fuck.
I told y'all this. Yeah, I told you this was like made just to sell fucking dolls and toys. And if you go on eBay and type in like Gizmo, there's gonna be like 9 million.
Yeah, well, apparently this is just what inspired Furby, you know. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Even though Furby, I think he's got a beak, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But you know, it's still.
I mean, Gizmo kind of does. If you look at his face,
Yeah.
he has like this little, but it's not a beak. It's like a little mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Also-
you can't convince me that Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him,
I had
based on the
Baby
same
Yoda,
thing.
yeah.
I had Baby Yoda vibes.
They did. I saw because watching the movie, I totally forgot that one of them stays good. Gizmo is like the main one. I thought they just all turned bad. In the original script, apparently that was Gizmo was supposed to turn bad, you know, and then one of them was, I think. First off, this movie lies. Well, it doesn't lie. It starts off and it's like a Steven Spielberg film, and I was like, "Oh shit, Spielberg!" But he doesn't direct it or write it. He's just an executive producer. To be fair, everything I've read, it seems like he was pretty hands on, like so he wasn't just sitting around. But still, you know. But someone decided, I can't remember who, was like, we should keep Gizmo is like the hero. So there's one good one that the people can latch onto, and then later the studio was like, that was the best fucking decision we ever made because we're gonna make so much money off of this dude. But yeah, I forgot Gizmo stays alive. Fun fact, which Tyler might know this. Maverick, do you know who voiced Gizmo? None other than Howie Mandel of Deal or No Deal fame. Shout out to Howie Mandel.
Really?
Also, I say Deal or No Deal fame, but he has a much more famous shows than that. Which what was that cartoon he voiced forever, Tyler?
Bobby's World.
Yeah, he's in Bobby's World. He was in that movie where he was a monster.
He also had like a long stand-up career where he'd put like a condom on his head and he'd blow it
And
up.
he would blow it up with his But when I looked up the cast, Howie Mandel was in it, and I was like, oh fuck, Howie's in this bitch. And then about an hour into it, I was like, when's Howie gonna pop up? And then when I was like, oh, he's Gizmo. And so every time you hear Gizmo go, bright light, that's Howie Mandel. So shout out to Howie. But also there was a fun little cameo by I don't remember dude's name, but homie from Beverly Hills Cop. Not Eddie Murphy. No, not Eddie Murphy. The Billy, whatever his last name was in that movie.
Yeah, the bank manager.
Yeah, he's the bank manager.
Yeah, the bank manager.
He's like 25. I'll have Mr. Rollins' job. By 30, I'll be a millionaire. And then that character disappears. He never pops up.
He did disappear.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like a main character, especially because I knew from Beverly Hills Cop. But this movie came out 2 years before Beverly Hills Cop, I think. Yeah. But I don't know.
I mean, he's in a bunch of stuff, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Beverly Hills Cop is probably his most famous. I thought he was on SNL too, but now looking at it, I don't think he was.
I think
I
he
was
was
trying to place him, but I don't.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
movie
think
like
of it.
Big. It's called like Freaky Friday or something. Not Freaky Friday, but
Yeah, I was
like
about to say, I know that one.
it's like that thing where like a kid changes places with an adult, or he grows
Big?
overnight, like or something. It's just like it, and yeah, he was in that for like ever.
Yeah.
So,
That fucker. Also, before we get more into the movie, the guy who plays that like farmer dude that gets killed with the tractor, and he's drunk, and he's like, I think I'm gonna walk home or whatever. That's a super famous like horror character actor who's been acting
Really?
since like the 40s and shit. That I knew him when he popped up. I
yeah,
was like, oh,
he's
shit.
in a ton of shit.
A ton of
yeah.
shit. He just died, I think, 2 years ago or something. But yeah, he's in. This might be his most famous role, honestly. Like he's had a couple stars.
No.
What do you think was his most famous role?
I don't know. Let's not do the band like that. The random drunk and
Yeah.
fucking
Well, his other. Well, like I said, he's a character actor. He didn't really have a lot of starring roles.
Yeah.
He was in Chopping Mall, if you've ever seen that, which that's a super 80s like it's people stuck in a mall and they got killer robots and shit. But he starred in a movie in the 40s called A Bucket of Blood, or maybe not the 40s, but it was old. It's black and white and shit. But anyway,
Yeah,
shout
I
out
can't
to
think of what else he's been in because he's like that one guy. Y'all ever see a movie with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
Anger Management. And he throws
Yeah.
the tennis ball at the blind guy,
Yeah.
and it just hits him in the head, and he's like, happy asshole. That guy is in a cajillion things. He's like a horror, we call it. Like, he's like everyone loves him.
Shout out to that guy.
The guy, the man.
Yeah. But can we talk about this dude just taking his fucking dog to work? And like he had a spot for him and everything. So obviously I think this was like a normal occurrence for him.
Yeah.
Just taking his dog to work. And then like I don't even know who was it a neighbor who came walking up just talking shit about his dog?
I don't know who that lady was.
I don't think I don't think they show you where she lives. Or like
They showed the cat lady.
I thought the cat lady was a different lady.
Yeah, it's a different lady.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's just some angry lady who shows, and she's like, "Your fucking dog. If I ever catch him, I'm gonna kill him." And the
Oh,
dog.
that's the cat lady. Yeah, that's the cat lady.
Is it? Oh, I thought they were two different.
I
I didn't think it was. I thought that was a different lady.
I thought the cat lady was a lot older than that
Yeah.
lady.
Well, she couldn't walk. That's why she had the chair.
Yeah, I remember the cat lady couldn't walk.
So I'm like, I don't
I don't know.
But yeah, and she's like, "I'm gonna kill your fucking dog," and the dog heard that shit and was like, "Bitch, step up," and jumped over the.
He was
jumped
like,
over the
"Motherfucker,
counter.
I'm right here. What's good?"
Yeah,
Older man.
and like he bit the shit out that lady. He had her by the arm.
He
He's
drug
like,
her
"Arr!" Yeah, and they gotta pull him off. Real life, that dog would have been dead. They would have killed that dog. And
I just love it because after he goes, he wouldn't hurt you. It's like it literally was dragging me around by the arm.
Yeah. But I don't know. And then that bitch, she comes back later in the movie again. And she's like, if I ever catch that dog, I'm gonna kill him. And it's like, we saw what happened the last time you and the dog interacted. You know, it's like.
She's like, I'll put it in the dryer on the spin cycle. And I'm like, God damn. Like,
Yeah, that was uncalled for.
Yeah.
But again, the mom of this movie is like, I mean, this had Corey Feldman in it too.
It did have Corey Feldman. I was gonna mention my homie.
But like I love how shit goes crazy and he calls her. She's like, Mom, they've hatched. And she's like, okay. Instantly grabs a knife and goes on like a killing spree. And I'm like, this lady had no restraint.
Yeah.
Like you just I don't know, it was
yeah.
It was wild.
I saw the dude who wrote this. Chris Columbus is his name. Discovered America and wrote this movie. He wrote this movie.
I think either one of those is right. Now that I think about it.
He wrote this movie. He also made Home Alone and Home Alone 2. So shout out to Chris Columbus. But his first version of the movie that the studio was like, we're gonna buy your movie, but we're gonna change some things. Included the Gremlins killing the dog, the Gremlins cutting off the mom's head and tossing it down the stairs, and a lot more. They also the scientist at the he got a way gruesomer death than what he got in this movie, and he wanted to go for super horror like creature thing, and Joe Dante, the director, and Warner Brothers were like, hey. Let's tone it down some.
Understandably.
So, but I kind of live for the Chris Columbus version with the Gremlins cutting off heads and shit. And because until the Gremlins ran over that guy with his tractor, I was like, these are the weakest horror villains I've ever seen. And then, like, they haven't done shit. They got wiped out by a house mom. And like, but. Shout out to the mom after her little house thing though, like she sort of disappears out of the movie too.
They drop her off somewhere and then
they
really don't see her again.
Same the dad didn't really like.
That was useless the whole fucking movie.
The dad was useless. Yeah, the whole movie. Like his only he brought in the gremlin, and then after that it was like make some juice. Oh, it doesn't work.
I'm surprised. What a piece of shit, too. Like, I was shit talking the dad the whole time. Like,
can I say, though, I do appreciate that, like, the family, they know that dad's slipping or whatever, but at the same time, they, like, weren't shitting on my guy. They were still trying to, like, you know, keep his spirits up or whatever.
I think they needed to shit on the guy.
Yeah.
He needed the shitting.
Well, like, it's weird because you watch this movie as a kid, you know that lady's supposed to be like an evil person, right? Because she wants the dog or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But then she's like, halfway through this movie, she's like, your dad's a bum. He's always been a bum. And I'm like, I kind of agree with that.
Like, I think he calls her a loser. Or she calls him a loser.
Weren't they going to lose the house or something? Never. I was watching This Is 40 the other day, and they were gonna lose the house. Sorry, confusing movies.
I see where you get those two confused.
Well, it's just because this guy was fucking up, you know, and they were talking. Did they ever talk about money problems?
Yeah, well, different lady. Like when she comes out of the bank, there's a lady who's like, "Me and my husband."
With the two kids, yeah.
And she was like, "Well, now you know what
so
to wish
sad.
for Christmas."
Okay. Yeah.
The little kid goes, "Mommy, I'm hungry," and the mom goes, "I know, I am too." And I went, no, dude.
Yeah.
No.
It was a pretty brutal little scene there.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, so I talked about well, real fast, we'll go. So the rules of the Gremlins, which forgot about one. Obviously, the classic "Don't feed them after midnight," which is like the one that I think everyone knows. Don't get them wet, which I forgot what they all did. Like when Corey Feldman spills water on him for the first time, he starts freaking out. I was like, "What's going on?" I totally forgot that that's what it does, is duplicate him or whatever. But and then the third one, which I completely forgot about, is keep him out of the light, and the sunlight like fucking kills him.
Yeah.
Which I see that they so they're animatronics. These fucking gremlins.
Were they really? I thought that they were so good. I thought they were puppets.
No, they're animatronics and shit and little robots. And I think they use puppets for some scenes. I read that in the sequel, which I don't know if I've ever watched a sequel, which Joe Dante says is way better than the first one.
What does Joe Dante know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they get way better too, and they're like moving around better or whatever. But originally, little fun fact, they were gonna use monkeys, and they were gonna put like a gremlin mask on a like a little spider monkey. And so the first monkey they got in there, they're like, all right, here we go. They put it on and just freaked out and jumped across the room, and they finally got it off of him. And then Joe Dante apparently looked at Spielberg and was like, "So puppets?" And he was like, "Yeah." So, but anyway, they they work, but you could still kind of tell what they were, that they were robots. So they were like, "Why don't we just make a rule that it has to be dark when you're in the room with them, so that way they don't look as bad." And so that was why they added in the light thing, which then it does end up being how they kill the main villain in the movie. So I don't know if they just rewrote it, so that's how they kill him. But that's the word, is they just made it dark around them, so that you wouldn't be able to see him that good. Which I thought when I was watching the movie, what terrible fucking pets these are to have, where now you have to live in the dark because these little motherfuckers can't be in light. You can't give them a bath. These bitches are going to stink all the time. Like, my dogs, they look at me for like a second when I got like a piece of chicken. They're like, and I'm like, here you go, here's a piece of chicken. These motherfuckers after midnight, you feed them. We didn't know what happened, but you can't feed them. Terrible pets.
I mean, those two dogs are very fat, and
they are not. They are in good shape.
These gremlins are very thin.
No.
So.
Maybe you can learn a thing or two. Oh, Tom.
What? Okay. Can we talk about the what I said has to be in contention for the most random fucking story ever added into a movie by a character, which is
which one?
The lady near the end of the movie being like, "My dad dressed up as Santa." Came down the chimney, broke his neck, was trying to give us.
They caught me so off guard. I was like,
why are you laughing at this lady's horrible story?
I mean,
it's pretty bad.
Trying to give us presents. I was like, where the fuck did it come from? It's got to be up there with Piper. Like, Daddy, no. What a fucking. Oh. But
I'm just trying to figure out why you're so stoked about this.
Which I saw the Santa speech. Apparently, it was like controversial in the studio. Was like you should get rid of this. But Joe Dante said that it was the perfect combo of like comedy and horror that he wanted to add for the movie. So. Shout out, but it was so random. In fact, that I was like, did I miss how this is part of the story at all? Like, was there some like trauma?
Yeah, earlier she's like, I don't like Christmas, and
yeah,
like, how do you not like Christmas? And I think he calls her a Muslim or something.
He's like
Hindi.
Are you a Hindu?
Yeah,
or something. Yeah. And then she's just really evasive about it. So they had to put that in there to like wrap up the story,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something.
It's pretty good.
I mean, so you'd cut that part out of the movie?
Yeah. I mean, I'm laughing at it because it's so absurd, but it's like, why was this in there?
I would have cut out the part where the dad's at the gas station. And he calls home and nothing happens. He goes, and he hangs up and he goes, "Well, hello there." And you have to listen to this dude's whole fucking spiel again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just shut up. Just shut up. Just get out of the gas station.
Yeah. I don't know. I was real disappointed in the every time they came in the door and they shut it, the sword on the wall would fall. And so I was like, well, this is setting up for like I didn't know how it was going to, but I assumed the sword was going to fall off the wall onto a gremlin, like as, you know, someone was about to get killed, and then like they would bang on the door and the thing. But the dude just uses the sword, you know, like just pulls it off the wall. He doesn't. It doesn't even work. Yeah, he uses it to bat the thing into the fireplace, and so I was like, okay, well that kind of wasted that opportunity. What were you gonna say?
I think we're ready for best of worst of. What?
Shit. Best of, worst of.
I think I wrote something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Tyler, do you have something ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, my best of is they're in the movie theater, right? And then they're leaving, and then the movie goes off for some reason. I don't remember why.
Uh-huh.
And it's just white screen, and they can see them behind it,
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
And then you see from the people's point, and it just shows all the gremlins coming. I'm sure it's just simple, cheesy
Yeah.
animation or whatever. But it was pretty decent. I like that. It was like the only time where it seemed like this movie was scary.
Yeah.
The only time this movie was even kind of scary was when the thing hatched and you didn't see it. They didn't
And it
show
was
the
running
gremlin
around the room
for like 10 minutes. Yeah. And then, you know, the very next scene, they're like, the mom's like, "Hey, looky here." And then you're like, oh, well, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So, but
when they bring dude home, they have a little like they're like, "What's in it?" And it's like, and it makes like a little and I was like, Go ahead.
I think the real best of this whole movie, though, it's got to be the soundtrack. That thing is banging, dude. They keep playing it throughout the whole thing. So it was really decent.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The worst part, like, there's so many to choose from. Like, they don't explain in this one. I think they explain it in the second one, but I'm not sure. That, you know, they get wet and then he shoots off the balls and then they turn into little gizmos, mogwais, and then they eat and they turn into gremlins.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you're a full-fledged gremlin already, you just jump in a pool and then you make new ones.
Yeah, apparently they don't have to hatch or something. Well, I guess at that point they're already the mutant, so they just come out mutants.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say I saw they were talking about the don't feed them after midnight thing doesn't make any sense because it's always midnight somewhere. And Joe Dante was like, "Well, we explained that in the sequel anyway." So, but anyway, my best of, I guess I saw it in here and I remember that I liked it, was the mom when she's looking for the last gremlin in the house, and at first she thinks it's in the stocking, and she goes and like slashes the stocking, and it's just like a little army man. And then she backs up, and the fucking gremlin's red eyes are like in the Christmas tree, and that was a really good shot. I like that. And then it jumps on her or whatever. And then my worst of, I've already said it. It was just the final act where it really took down a movie that I was really enjoying so far. So I was real disappointed about it. Maverick, got
best of. And the worst of the same thing, really.
Okay.
Like, it was funny. I laughed. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny. I don't think it was supposed to be. But I was asking myself why the fuck it was in the movie. And it was Homegirl. So she's talking about she hates Christmas for the first time.
Yeah.
And she says she's talking about like suicide and shit.
Yeah.
She's like, well, they're opening presents. The other people are opening their wrists, and I'm like, oh, God. It caught me off guard. I was like, what the fuck? It was so 0 to 100, and I laughed, but I knew I wasn't supposed to be laughing at it, but I was like, oh no. But yeah, it was best and worst.
All right. Speaking of that wet shit, I remember I did when Stripe gets away and he goes and jumps into the pool. I was like, oh fuck. I didn't even like think of that. And Stripe was on that next level thinking. He was like, yeah, bitch. And yeah. I thought for a minute, like I get he was dying at the end when I thought the effects at the end when he was melting were cool as shit.
They weren't bad.
But he's like in a fountain as that's happening. And I thought, like, even though he was dying at that point, well, I guess he was starting to pop them out. But then he started melting and I guess it killed them. But I thought they should have been able to get out in time or whatever. I thought it was cool when he was melting. And then I thought it might have looked even better when he got out as the skeleton. And it like fully just fell apart on the ground or whatever. So I didn't look up who did the effects in this movie, but shout out to them for that. Who's that? I like the Gremlins singing the Christmas carols out front.
Yeah,
I like
they were just singing the soundtrack.
Yeah,
but I was like,
they were just singing and they were just going yeah. They weren't like any words or nothing. Which clearly I don't know what their speaking capabilities are, but they say words like Gizmo the whole time is like bright light, and then fucking Stripe at the end is like Gizmo, and he'll like I think he says something else. He's like I'll get you, bitch, or something like that. But
that's what he says. But
yeah, but
maybe
I like to believe. Let's see. There was another part in the original script where the Gremlins were going to attack a McDonald's but eat the customers instead of burgers. Once again, just adding more to
a Burger King. They had a hell of product placement in this.
Yeah.
Like there's a Coke can. I'm trying to think of anything else, but they had a Burger King, obviously.
They didn't have Coke cans then?
No, but it was like placed perfectly, so you could see it.
Yeah. It's like that one episode of Game of Thrones where they were sponsored by Starbucks. They made
and then like no one wants to admit it. They're like, no.
After the film's release, director Joe Dante stated, "I still have no idea why this movie was so successful." I always love when people just are like, I don't know why. People. Also, this movie, if you notice, which you should, because it tells you almost right away, based around Christmas. Whole thing is Christmas movie. This movie came out in June, so
weird.
Yeah, I think originally I read it was supposed to come out near Christmas, but then they just moved it up and it came out in June. So,
I had no idea I picked a Christmas movie. I don't remember this being a Christmas movie.
I didn't remember either. But and then one last little fun fact: the scene in the department store where Stripe attacks Billy with a chainsaw was added last minute as an homage.
It was what, Tom?
Yeah, what was that?
Added last minute.
No, you said latted. It was latted.
Whatever, motherfucker. Shut up. As an homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Really?
So, once again, that was another one of their, trying to horror it up a little bit. I know that sounds like horror it up, but I swear I said horror it up. Also, lastly, this movie had a budget of $11 million.
Damn.
And Tyler's going to love this one. It made $212 million at the box office. So,
good movie.
Not bad.
Yeah, man. Money equals good, right?
Right. That's
how that goes.
Yeah. I also wrote down. I wondered if, and I don't have any confirmation for this. Obviously, I should have looked it up. I wonder if Gizmo had any inspiration at all for Nibbler for Futurama. As I was watching, I got a lot of Nibbler vibes, and I was like, I wonder if this had any like inspiration at all.
I mean, I'm not sure, right? But
Yeah.
you know,
By the way, I get Gizmo cute and all, right? But no one is gonna see him and go, "What the fuck is this thing?" Like everyone's just like, "Oh, look how cute he is." And it's like I've never read about anything like this. Like it just seems so weird that everyone just instantly was like, "All right,
adored him.
yeah." Um, yeah. I wonder. They never really explain either why, because Gizmo was so nice and lovable, and then he spawns Stripe and like 4 other ones, and they're mean instantly. Like they come out, and Stripe is like he's spitting at the dog and shit.
Yeah.
And like their first night, they tie up the dog outside with like Christmas lights and shit. And Gizmo like hates him. Gizmo and the dog both. I needed a buddy team up with Gizmo and the dog because they were like there were scenes of them just sitting in the back and looking at the other gremlins like hating on them. But I don't know. They just came out like mean as fuck. I don't know why they were so mean.
Well, it's really weird because the one he makes at the scientist or the teacher's office,
Yeah,
seems like he could be okay.
he could be okay. Yeah, until they start
then-
shoving needles into him.
Yeah, and then he steals a sandwich.
Yeah,
Which, fun fact, that's the only crime that Maverick's ever committed.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I felt real bad for that gremlin at the science.
he was like, "Come here, little buddy."
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was a piece of shit.
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, like I did. Apparently, he just died from whatever that thing is, dude stuck in his ass. Did y'all think that his head was like eaten because it was under like the desk?
It's hard to say.
But I kept waiting for them to like pull
yeah.
him out and his head to be gone. Like there'd be some. Anyway.
But no, it's crazy. It's something.
Yeah.
So
And fucking Stripe and them, like these motherfuckers were plotting. Like they cut the clock so that Billy wouldn't know it was after midnight, so he would feed them and shit. Like they knew what was gonna happen. Or maybe I'd say that, but maybe they just were like, "This motherfucker never feeds us after midnight, so we'll cut the." Maybe they didn't know, but it sure seemed like they were plotting. Like,
yeah, I think they were.
yeah,
And I don't know. There's some like theories online that I don't even know if I could talk about them because they're pretty bad.
okay,
But like there's theories online where this is like supposed to be a movie that talks about like immigration.
There was a lot of
Like if you
like homie talking about the foreign parts and shit.
yeah, like
I was like,
if we
ooh.
brought in people and everyone like seems to say China or whatever just because he got it in Chinatown or whatever.
China.
But I don't think you're allowed to say it like that either. But
That Trump impersonation.
yeah, they're like, yeah, the ones that come and you see are good. The ones you want there, whatever. It was like, but then you'll get the other ones, and then that's why all those the new ones were all evil and stuff like that. So
I don't know. They tied my homie Gizmo up on the dartboard. I was like, God damn.
And they were throwing darts at his ass.
Yeah. And Gizmo was on the board and he was just going, He was like, oh no. They threw him down the laundry chute. Like, they were fucking my boy up. I thought it was
bullying that man.
I thought it was Gizmo that was gonna be in the stocking. I thought she was gonna open it up and be like, and it was gonna be Gizmo, and he's gonna be like, but it wasn't. It was just another ploy.
some chump.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway. Also that chainsaw I mentioned earlier, dull as fuck. Dude pulls out a baseball bat, like the thing doesn't even like cut through it. It's just like holding, can't get through the chain or the bat. Son of a bitch. Anyway, y'all got anything else you want to talk about with this one?
Um, trying to think. We already talked about all the bank stuff. It's just a weird movie. Like,
It is.
I don't know. Like the bar was closing and they never really even talked about it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's all this stuff that was going on in this movie that just led nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like the bank manager who was like, "I'm gonna run this place,"
Yeah.
but then like no one ever talked about it, right? It just went away,
Uh-huh.
and then like you had, I don't know, it was just a bunch of stupid shit. Like, I don't think this movie's meant to be looked at in like a serious manner.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I don't know. It wasn't. I mean, all the Gremlins actions and stuff. We can sit here and talk about what every single one did or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it's like, why? You know, it's
Yeah. It's like we could sit here and talk about them singing along the fucking Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and shit, but which I was feeling that shit though. They were getting it in that theater.
theater. I mean, I look like a party I'd want to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you know, apparently not. If you're whatever.
All right. So that's it for Gremlins. Might be, I don't know when we started. It might be a little short one, but
Yeah.
no, we'll crank out. We'll have to do. We'll have to crack down and do Peninsula on Monday. We keep saying we will, but we haven't done it.
Never will.
No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. If we don't do it, Puppet Master 4 next week.
You done spoken into existence and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So
I thought we were skipping 4 because it was
we
whatever.
haven't. We don't
I messed
know.
up.
We don't know. I remember looking it up, but it didn't give any answers really when I looked it up.
I don't know if Maverick's seen any of those.
He didn't watch them with us. So, anyway.
You're missing some gems.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Next week, it's my pick again. And this week, we're watching a movie that when it came out, and I saw it for the first time, I really liked it. I've never watched it again since then. But I watched the sequel that it made, and I fucking hated the sequel. And now this bitch has its own fucking universe that we haven't even dived into. So we're going back to 2013, I think, is when it came out, with The Conjuring. So
That's a good movie.
look forward to The Conjuring, starring Patrick Wilson, and I can't remember the girl's name.
I was hoping you picked Don't Breathe, and then the sequel will be out by
No,
the
I've
time
been
the
thinking about
podcast
picking
comes
Don't
out.
Breathe, though.
And then I was like, yes.
No.
Couple good horror flicks coming out soon. I think we need to watch.
The one that you picked and then didn't show up for the review, A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
The second
Yeah, I
one
mean
just
that
came
one
out too.
dropped a couple weeks ago, but
That one came out,
I'm down to watch it.
and then I heard everyone was like, this one sucks.
Did it?
Really?
That's
I
what I
haven't-
heard.
I haven't heard of it. You know, that first one, man, it made me cry. So
Yeah.
because it was so good, not because.
Ah! That was
So
mine.
we've been playing Rust a lot,
Okay.
and the scene where the guy goes into the, I guess the sporting goods store or the department store, and he
Uh-huh.
has the bat. Like all I could think about was me and Russ with my little like wooden spear, and you turn the corner and there's like a full-kitted guy with an AK, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh no. And it just popped in my head, and I was like, I need to stop playing Rust.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be playing Rust after this.
Oh shit.
Well, no, a new thing came out for Labyrinth. So
I fucking hate you. So
That elaborate.
it did. I'm serious. It updated on my thing.
Yeah.
800 megabytes.
All right. So next week, The Conjuring. We're gonna watch that one. I can't promise you that we will ever catch up to those movies because I think there's like 12 fucking movies in that universe.
We'll
right
watch
now.
only the good ones.
Well, some would say that's only The Conjuring.
Matt might not be here for the next one.
I'll be dead.
Yeah.
I'm not dead, but you know.
Yeah. But
What?
I don't know. I think people might like the second one, but like I said, I hated it. The first one, it sounds ridiculous because once we watch it, it's really not compared to other shit we watch. But the first one's is like grounded and more realistic. And then the second one, like, it just adds in this shit I hated. The second one, the best thing about the second one was the nun scene. If you know the nun scene, I don't know if either of you have watched.
Spoiling all kinds of movies.
I know, right? Fuck.
Y'all. Anyway, but the first one was really good when I watched. Speak, Thomas. Right when I watched it. So.
Big Thomas, right?
Yeah. So I'm hoping it holds up. All right. Well, Maverick, you got anything like to add before we?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I feel like there's something we're missing in this whole thing.
Not really.
So
It just went so fast.
it did. We blew through.
Not a
this
lot
one.
to talk about in this movie, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, like
Thought it'd be good.
yeah.
The movie wasn't bad. Just the guy who picked it's an idiot. Oh,
Damn. Fucked up.
Nah, you're fine, man. Started drama for drama's sake. You know? Oh shit. You know, like
World star.
yeah.
I saw a fight video the other day and someone said World Star in it, and I was like, is this 2012? I was like, holy shit, I didn't know this was a thing.
Guy was like real quick.
Yeah. Alright, next week, Conjuring Peninsula. I swear, it's coming out. And
I don't even know when we're gonna do it.
Monday.
How?
You're off.
That means I have to like watch a movie.
You do. So does Maverick. So did I.
Me and Maverick are gonna be playing Rust though.
Listen. Anyway, next week, Conjuring. We'll see you there. Be there or be square.
Oh wait, no. You should like be there or be scared.
Oh, fuck.
That's a lot better,
That
right?
was good. Anyway,
I'm hitting you with that knowledge.
there you go.
I'm here in my garage.
Yeah.
What?
Knowledge.
Okay.
No? Okay. Fine.